This LAQ to teach a class a lesson. In Wayland's class, we the best class with a screencast. You get the message. We can east and west hemispheres, and it's simply clear to affect the present. Transoceanic trade brought the good sugar religion, and you get the message. So now just kick back and relax. Get some popcorn or some snacks or some textbooks, cause you know we about to spit some real facts in this unit with Simone and Doris and Mia Jaden. Thank you all for your patience. Can't keep this LAQ waiting, yeah.
So we're going to begin with a few big ideas. What were the people outside of Europe benefiting from the trade that occurred? Did they take a part in trade? What were some of the exchanged items? How did sailors travel safely without accurate technology, and what technology was made to help them? Our thesis is, some may say that slavery was a more important factor in transoceanic trade within the Western and Eastern hemispheres because of supply and demand, as well as small amounts of advanced technology at the time. However, because of maritime technology and the evolution of trade, they are more the same than different. The transoceanic trade routes spans across the Pacific, Atlantic, and Indian Oceans. The interconnection of the Western and Eastern hemispheres through transoceanic trade expanded the scope of religion, sugar, slaves, etc. throughout many regions as a result. Some examples of maritime technology were maps, which were used for cartography, astrolabes, compasses, and ships. Empires all over the Western and Eastern hemispheres were grown using different combinations of technology as well information from multiple sources.
This is our first piece of evidence, maritime technology. The mariner's astrolabe helps sailors find the latitude line and navigate to their destination. This tool was the most popular astronomical instrument until the end of the 17th century. In addition to technology that aided navigation and cartography, maritime travel greatly improved through the progress of shipbuilding and ship design. Through the refinement of shipbuilding, ships became more secure, balanced, and overall more consistent for long voyages. Through this underlying source, we are able to better understand the architecture used for creating ships, as well as the types of jobs associated with it. This source relates to our thesis because it gives some background to one of the types of maritime technology, which is ships, by explaining how they were used. Second piece of evidence, evolution of trade. Through exploration, Europeans were able to learn customs from all across the world. Things like new agriculture techniques, cultural customs, and native crops were discovered and traded. During the period of the Columbian Exchange, tropical areas were colonized and used primarily as sugarcane plantations and directly resulted in increased demand for slaves and indentured servitude. While exploration introduced more goods to diversify the crop selection of the early world, the exposure of foreign plants, animals, and diseases resulted in extremely high death rates and population declines ranging from 50 to 100%. Goods evolved the nature of trade, and exploration evolved the goods trade. This source from Powell provides examples of trade evolution through crop discovery and its effect on the wealth of empires. Third piece of evidence, growing trade empires. During the era of transoceanic trade, there were certain large empires that were at the forefront of the trading network. A few of these empires included the Dutch, Portuguese, and Spanish. Each empire utilized different techniques and systems of trade. Trading increased, as well as the demand for goods, which helped these empires increase in wealth. Portugal, for example, installed a system of trade that utilized military support to control trading ports and taxation. Although they did not trade themselves or add value to the sum of trade in the region, they extracted benefits through regulating ports. The Dutch were able to implement an existing system that would provide the highest profit by charging fees for transporting items from one part of Asia to another. Although through the establishment of joint stock companies, voyages funded by monarchs became less efficient and profitable. This allowed for countries that utilized joint stocks to thrive. These sources show how different countries utilize varying systems of trade to gain the most profit. Through time, new systems were created like joint stocks, and it allowed new empires to flourish through new and more efficient means of funding.
Our three AP World themes are Theme 6, Technology and Innovation. The transoceanic voyages relied on technology such as the astrolabe to maneuver through the ocean and supply goods to multiple places. Theme 2, Cultural Development and Interactions. The impact of the transoceanic voyage brought agriculture to the Europeans, which helped them live in America. The transoceanic trade also brought plants and animals to the New World, which resulted in changes in human diet and activities. Theme 6, Economic Systems. The transoceanic voyages impacted the economic systems with the amount of currency that was being used, and due to that, merchants had to make good bargains for items in order to gain profit.
Now here's a few seconds to think about the answers for big ideas. Possible answers would be that Europe benefited from the goods that were traded and helped with the empires. They did take part in trade, but some did not. that were exchanged included slaves, goods, and parts to build ships. How did sailors travel safely without accurate technology? They used monsoon winds. What technology was made to help them? Things like the astrolabe and other forms of navigation that helped advanced cartography.
These are the sources that we used for our screencast, and thank you very much.